So at any given month, the reading from the last month will be subtracted from the reading for this month. Thus, we have the usage for that month.
Okay. And how often are meters read? When can I expect to see somebody in my area? Is there like a set schedule?
Well, not really set schedule, but we read our meters between the 1st and the 24th of every month. So anytime between that period of time, a meter reader will show up at the various areas around the island.
Okay, and so in the event that a meter reader doesn't show up for this particular month, I know from time to time I would have seen something that suggested E, which is for estimated reading. How does this work?
Well, estimated readings only come about if, one, the meter reader cannot make it, whether he's on vacation and we don't have anybody else available, or two, if the meter is not working. If your meter is not working, then we will estimate your reading based on a minimum charge, or we will use your reading that you normally get and estimate it based on that.
Okay.
Also, too, sometimes the meter is within the person's premises, so the meter reader are unable to get to.
So
the
it's
meter.
inaccessible.
Sometimes it may be locked, or they might have dogs that loose at the same time, so they might get the chance to get to that premises at the same time. So they have to do an estimation.
Okay, so it's important that persons ensure that
The meter is located.
the meter is
in the area where it can be
Accessible.
easily-
accessible.
Yes.
Yes.
And next, I would like to ask our good consumers out there if they would please try and make sure the area where the water meter is clean and clear, so that when the meter reader comes to read, we don't have to leave it because
Shrubs.
a garbage pan,
Debris.
shrubs, debris, or whatever. Please clean around the meter for us.
Okay. And so I have no issue with my reading. I'm clear on that. I can read my meter. I get my bill now. I notice that something seems a little bit off. What is the process if I want to query my bill?
Well, to query your bill, you can call the Water Services Department at 467-1005, extension 2088. That is the extension for inquiries. You would then provide the information to us. If you do not have your bill, you can give us the name that is on the account. Based on the query, they will then direct you to customer service. The information will be provided. Once the information is provided, then what I usually do, I usually ask the customer for some information on the account so that I can confirm that that is the account. When was the last time you paid the bill? How much did you pay? So that we can be on the same page. Sometimes it is a situation where we cannot handle over the phone. You must come to the department. What we often ask the customer as well is, when you're coming, if you know where your meter is, you take a picture of the meter. I know some people do not have a phone and they prefer to write it, but sometimes you can take a number for the other. And so we always prefer that you take a picture, make sure we can see the numbers clearly inside of the glass, and you bring the picture to the office, and then we can go from there.
Okay, so what if my query is, well, why is my bill so high?
Okay. Then the next thing would be, we'll ask you about leaks. We will ask you if you notice you have any dripping pipes, or if your toilet is making a noise when it's not supposed to be making a noise, or if you see anything like in your yard, you might have pipes running in the yard and the area. You know, we have dry season now. When you see an area that is very green and you know you're not watering, chances are there's a leak. So then we will start to ask all those little questions to see if we can jog your memory to see where there is a problem.
Okay.
Also, to I'd like to add, from experience, most leaks we experience is from the toilets,
Okay.
and you would find that toilet flushing is the largest single use of water that a customer will use. Besides like watering your lawn and other stuff, toilet flushing, accounts for most of the water that you use. from our studies, is like the toilet flushing is like 40%, bath and shower 32%, laundry 14%, dishwashing 6%, and cooking and drinking 5%.
Okay.
So you really have to pay attention to the toilets.
Yes. And from your experience, because you guys are the experts, how do I detect if I have a leak? If my toilet is malfunctioning, let me not say leak. If it's malfunctioning, if it's somehow causing my bill to be inflated.
Well, most people think that toilets is supposed to make a noise whether or not you use it. It's not normal. If I don't touch something, then it's not supposed to move. So sometimes you're lying down and you hear shh. That is water passing to the toilet. That is a leak. You have to call your plumber and get your plumber to fix that. Sometimes you go to the toilet and you lift the bowl and you see the water like trembling. The water is not supposed to move. The fact that the water is moving, it means that something is open and the water is passing to the meter. You have to call your plumber for that.
Okay, I'm happy that you said I have to call my plumber, because my question to you is now, how do I determine when I should contact the water services department technicians versus when I should call my private plumber?
Well,
I know it's very easy for persons to just, as soon as there's a water issue, call the water department.
now my first go-to will be to call your plumber.
Okay.
And the plumber will come assess the situation. If it's something that he thinks that water services needs to address, then he will tell you, you call water department and you let us know. Well, I call my plumber and he said that I need to contact you guys.
Okay.
And then of course we'll send someone out to do an investigation.
Okay. I want to jump back to the queries. If for some reason I overpay you, or there's an error on our bill and I would have missed it, is there a refund policy?
Yes, of course there is. Once the balance exceeds $300 on your account, we will process a request for you. But the request is done in the holder of the account's name, though. That is very important.
Okay.
Yeah,
So only if my name is on the account,
Yes.
I can request a refund?
Yes, and that will be done to the Treasury.
Okay, and then how soon would I get back my money?
The request should be done. It should be 5 days after you pay the amount on the account.
Okay, so if that time expires, I would pretty much lose the opportunity to get that money back.
We will still try our best to assist in that
Okay,
situation.
that's very kind of you. Okay, so why do I receive a water bill even if my residence is vacant? I am not there. I have a house. I'm not at that house, or maybe I'm not at it for an extended period of time. Maybe I've traveled. Why am I still being billed?
Well, as long as your home or your business place has a water connection, once you have a water meter connected to your property, we will charge you the minimum of $20.
Okay, so just the minimum.
Just the minimum of $20. So whether or not you use the water, there's a standard fee of $20. 0 gallons to 2,500 gallons of water is $20. So we would always encourage customers, if you are traveling for a long period of time or someone has moved out and you're not ready for the property, always come to the department. You request a disconnection, but bear in mind that when you are ready to use the water, a reconnection fee is $50. If you don't want to come to the department because you can't make it, you can call us again on 467-1005 or 467-1447 and request your disconnection. We also have a form on the website. On the forms, you go to disconnection, you fill that form out. Don't forget to walk with your IDs, and we'll be able to disconnect your water supply for you.
Okay. Now, that's for persons who are away from their homes for extended periods. But what about someone like me? I'm at my house, and I realize my bill is reflecting this month $200, next month $250, next month a different figure. It's constant. My consumption is constantly varying from month to month. What could be a possible reason? Why does my consumption vary?
Well, there could be one or two things. It could be that you probably have a leak, because bear in mind, if you have a leak and you're using water, that is two components right there. So it just depends. If you don't have a leak, then you're probably using the water. So you just have to pay attention to how you're using the water. And when you get your bills, always open your bill and pay attention to your consumption. There's a consumption section that shows how the water is being used. So you could look at it every month and you can see. If you don't have a leak, then you just monitor it and see how you're using the water.
So essentially it's based on your activity.
Of course.
Yes, I mean, you can expect minor variations from month to month. Just depends on the activities you perform in your home. But if you see there's a wide difference in your consumption, then you know you probably have a leak. You need to contact a plumber to see, to inspect the property for you to make sure that you don't have a leak.
Well, speaking of leaks, what tips or suggestions you can give to consumers who hope to minimize their water consumption? Any tips, any suggestions from you guys?
Sure, there are many ways or many things that we can do to help to conserve water. And some simple tips are: when you're brushing your teeth, don't forget to turn off the tap. Always remember to check your toilets. Listen for the sound. Look in the toilet, make sure the water is not moving. We all like to wait for the water in the shower to run off because we can't be in the cold water. You know, we experience a drought right now, so you have to make sure when you're soaping up, you turn off the water. We have a lot of people out there who love to keep their cars clean, and we do understand. We like a clean car, but we must remember there are many ways you can wash your car. The hose, it's wasting the water, so we would always recommend a bucket. 1 bucket of water, you use that to wash your car. 1 bucket of water, we use that to water your lawn.
Any other tips?
You can also reuse water as well. Sometimes the water from the sink or the bathroom can be used for irrigation or gardening purposes.
Anything else, Mrs. Keynes?
Well, they basically cover
Most of it? Okay. So we go back to the billing aspect. People, we're in the 21st century, and people need convenience. I know that we've definitely long gone past simple standing in a queue. What are the payment options that are available at the Water Services Department? If I'm overseas, I want to pay my bill, or I just simply prefer to sit in my office or from the comfort of my home and pay my bill, what are the options available to me?
Sure. So the Water Department provides a portal. You go to the Water Department's website. It is water.gov.kn. So that's water.gov.kn. And when you go to that site, you see the tab that says Bill Payment. You click on that tab, and it will provide the information for you. So that is one way in which you can pay your bill without having to come to the line. If you're uncertain if the payment has come through, you can call the Water Department, and we can confirm that payment for you so that you do not duplicate the payments. I know there are some people who are not comfortable with that. They don't want to use their card. We have an outlet at the post office. You can go and pay. We have a card machine, so you can use your card, you can use your checkbook, and you can pay in cash.
Okay.
We still provide that service at the main office. At the main office also has a checkbox, just in case you don't want to wait in line. You can just drop your check in the checkbox, and a receipt will be mailed out to you.
Okay. Back up the post office as well.
What about mobile banking? That has been quite a rave. Persons like the convenience of paying from their cell phone. Is that an option as well?
Yes, definitely mobile banking is an option. You just need to make sure that you have the proper information, your name, the customer account number. And in terms of the mobile banking, most times people would come to Water Department for that information. We don't know how the bank is set up, so you just have your information and you let the bank know you would like to set up mobile banking for Water Department, and they'll give you that instruction.
Okay, another question. In terms of the mobile banking payment, the name has to be the name of the name that is on the account.
Yes, that is very important. Most people, when they're doing their online banking, because they're the one who is paying and this is the name on their card, they will put their name. And then when the information comes to us, we do not know where to apply these funds, and then that can be a little chaotic. So you would put the name that is on the account, the account number, and the amount. Okay. You have to always remember to put the name on the account, because we will not know where to apply those funds.
Okay. Now, as we get close to the end of the show, are there any challenges that the department is facing that you'd want to sort of get our customers aware of so they could work to help us improve those areas?
Yes, we have quite a number of bills that are being returned from the post office that we sent out to customers. So I want to appeal to customers to update their information on the account if they move from one area to the next. Let us know that they have moved. Or they can also update their information at the post office as well, so we can get the bills out to them as quickly as we can, because we find that sometimes, for instance, somebody might have gotten a property somewhere out of their normal living area, so they have moved to the next community, and then the postman don't know that the person moved, so it may keep coming back to us unknown. Also, sometimes you find the bills are in the names of somebody who might have deceased, so they didn't come in to update that information. So as from the post office, then the person has deceased, so the bills keep returning. And we find quite a number of those bills, the persons are not current either with paying their accounts. So we are appealing to persons to please to come and update your information with the office as soon as possible, because this can result in your service being disconnected. So I'm appealing to please update your information with the department. If you move to one area to the next, let us know you've moved. Or if you're at a home and you're home somewhere, please let us know this is my residence now and this is where the bill should be coming. And we could also work in tangent with the post office as well to have this thing done as quickly as possible, and your bill can come to you. You can come in and pay your bill on time and update your information on your bill and your payment. In
terms of updating the information, do you actually have to come in, or you can fill a form? Is there anything on the website?
Yes, there's a form to update the information. They can also come in.
Okay. Now, what is the department doing to improve its customer service? Any steps to make life easier for customers for the Water Services Department?
Well, yes. Last week we just launched our 24-hour service, our hotline service, and what we are planning, what this service will do is to address all faults and leaks at any time. Customers can call it. It'll be a 24-hour service, because at this season now, somebody might just have a leak. They might just call a friend and ask them. If you know somebody who works at the water department, and they give the person the number, and then sometimes the person that works in that department have to call somebody else, and then time goes by and the leak is still going on for quite a while, and then when they get to the right person, then the person says, well, I don't have a vehicle, I'm not working, I have to call somebody else, and that complicates the situation. So now we have a dedicated staff working 24 hours, and we also have a technical team on site to go out and address these issues. So you can call at any time. The hotline number is 465-8000 and toll-free number is 141. Somebody will answer the call, take your complaint, dispatch the team, and try to get the leaks fixed as quickly as possible. We'll cut down our response time will be cut down very much, and then we will be very openly and willing to address the issues and help our customers to really conserve water and really try to stop the leaks as well.
Mr. Lapsey, I think you kind of just breezed over that quite casually, but just for our listeners, I think that is very important information. You said that you recently launched a 24 hours. Let me say that 24 hours.
So you can call the department at any time to report any leaks, any faults.
And give us the numbers again.
It's 465-8000 and toll-free number 141.
So the toll-free number 141, you can call that only from your cell phone, and that's free of cost,
yes,
correct?
Free of cost.
And that's 465-8000, and the toll-free number is 141. And if you have other inquiries, of course, unrelated to whether a fault or a leak that you want to report to the department, this is a separate aspect of it. For the billing, for these beautiful young ladies we have here, you have billing issues, you report to them. But when you have issues, technical issues, whether you see a leak, you have a leak at your residence on the outside of the meter, or
a broken line
somewhere, you want to be a responsible citizen. You see a broken line somewhere when you're driving past, and you want to call us and let us know
anytime.
At any time of the day, of the night, early in the morning, you can call 465-8000 or 141.
Respond as quickly as possible.
And Mr. Lapsy said that the technical team, he is vouching for them that they will respond as soon as they possibly can. And so that brings us to the end of our show. We want to thank all of our listeners for choosing to join us on the Waterline this morning. Thanks to those of you who would normally call, but for some reason we didn't get to hear from you this morning. We thank you for listening nonetheless. It is a pleasure to be with you as usual, and we will try our best to continue our duty to not just be any service provider, but a quality service provider at the Water Services Department. And so as we sign off for today, we thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you for our next edition of the Waterline on Wednesday, 26th April.
Water is life, 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 life. Water is life, 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 life. Do just one thing.
Every drop count. Make sure you check for leaks around your house every day. Every drop count. When brushing your teeth, don't let the water run away. Come save the water, the water. Preserve the water right now.